All right, welcome back to this wonderful channel where we bring you back-to-back update and information as it is hot. In case it's your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first. We'll collect them. Well, let's go down to the news proper as it is hot. You don't share it. According to the information where we say it dey my table, boss between the men of the indigenous people of Biafra and the men of the LIG, where we say that they live for the empire of the Bakassi Peninsula team with those men of the Cameroonian armies, where Nigeria considered to the Cameroonians, that is known as Bakassi Peninsula, that the people who are living in that region, known also as Biafrans, according to them, they are full-blooded Biafrans, has had a big combat between them and the soldiers of the Cameroonian. And as it is, the casualties are much. But according to the information that we have been receiving, is that the men of the Biafrans that are living on that end have taken down moments of that of the Cameroonian army, and this is what is currently happening on that side. As it is, they say police caught napping as kidnappers resurrect in southwest. For a long time ago now, the issue of kidnapping somehow has gone down. Remember the time of this kidnap campaign? There was a time a guy, I think his name is Onyema. There is also a guy named Hibies that trended that time, a kingpin. But at the time, this issue of kidnap went down, and we started hearing it more like a history where it happens maybe along Abuja Expressway, the Sahara, and the rest of them. But as it is now, this issue has come back again into the town, and make I carry you go to the full detail of the information as it dey happen. Bola Bamigbola writes that the Southwest is again battling the kidnapping headache which a few years ago succeeded in taming. If they have been living in denial before, the last week's abduction of the chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State, Mr. Philip Ivoji, and about 9 others have made residents of the state in the southeast come to the sudden realization of the resurgence of the menace of kidnapping in the region. The victims were said to be returning to Lagos after attending a Southwest Zonal PDP meeting hosted by the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde in Ibadan when they were abducted along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in Ogere, Ogun State. Considered the safest in the country, although the Southwest over the years has struggled to curb nefarious activities of the ransom-seeking abductors who were using thick forests across the region as cover whenever they successfully pick up a target. But amidst all odds, the resolve of the Southwest Governors Forum under the leadership of the late Ondo State Governor Arakurim Rotimi Akeredolu to tackle the deteriorating security situation in the region, which eventually bettered Amotekun Corps in the 2020, sent warning signals to the perpetrators of violent crimes. After fending off conspiracies within the Southwest by the friends of the then President Muhammadu Buhari and concealed opposition to the Amotekun Corps from other parts of the country, Akeredolu and his colleague governors at the launch of the security apparatus on January 9, 2020 in Ibadan did not mince words. They declared a clampdown on violent crimes, especially kidnapping for ransom in the region. Speaking at the launch of the initiative in his capacity as the chairman of the Southwest Governors Forum, Akeredolu said hardly was any state in the region immune from the security challenges. We decided that something must be done in order to curb the menace, and we think that combined efforts is the only solution to it. We shall not relent until our people are secured. This is what is happening in the Southwest, and if you have watched this particular issue has actually become a trend, even in the southeast, the southwest, and the northern part of Nigeria, where people are being abducted for ransom for no reason. And I think that if you look at some of these things, you find that some of these issues are politically related, and some of them are related to the lackadaisicalness of the leadership, not paying attention to the priority of the nation. Because you see the executive, you see the house, the senate, proposing bills, and when you look at these bills, you find that these bills are not even meant to tackle the foundation of what is happening in the nation. The bills are just like, when you've not yet, dig a foundation for a house, and you are just laying the block on top of it. So I think the politicians should go back to the drawing board. And if the politicians can go back to the drawing board, I believe that with time, this menace of both the issue of insecurity, kidnapping, kidnapping, and the rest of them, I believe that these things will stop. And these things can only stop when politicians, when the leaders are not there for personal aggrandizement. Because if you look at African political structure, you will find out that most leaders are there just for their personal gain, and that has caused a lot of things in the political system. Now, look at the bills that have been passed. You look at what is being allocated to education, you look at what is being allocated to the healthcare, you look at what is being allocated to the infrastructural development of the nation. Then you also look at what is being allocated to improving production in order for the youth to be able to have work. Nigeria every day produces thousands or if not millions of graduates every year. And when these graduates come out from the university, they have no hope of starting a new life. It's more like your parents made an investment, sent you to school. You have been, after it's just like I think that this issue of education and the government giving job to the people is a vice versa. Because when the parents of these children are paying their school fees, they are investing also into the school system. And these schools are owned by the government. The government are generating revenue there. Now, after these people must have stayed in the four walls of the university, depending on their course, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. And when they come out of the university, they will start looking for job. Now, it means that the investment that have been made in these children has been lost because the government has failed to provide a good working environment, a good productive environment that will enable the youth to navigate in their life. And this is why the rampaging of the issue of insecurity, kidnap, and the rest of them, because they say that idle man is the devil's workshop. Before I go close for that information, Basbos, it don't happen for Anambra State where we say a widow, they battle for they try evict one widow like that for her house, and the woman they seek for help. Make I carry you go for the full detail of the information. Of course, you know that some states, some villages are still practicing the barbaric act of the olden days. Remember that before the time of Mary Slessor, giving birth to twins were more like committing a taboo. It was an anathema to give birth to twins. But when Mary Slessor came in, everything changed. And you find out that there are some practices that are associated with the Igbo tradition that are still yet to be abolished. I am happy that some villages in most of the Igbo land or in some towns, most of the states in the southeast have come together to abolish the issue of Osu and Ohu, because that thing has really affected many people. Most times, when these young people fall in love, and at the end of it, they find that they are Osu and Ohu, and you find that that thing causes a big issue for them. Meanwhile, let's go to what is happening to this 37-year-old widow. A 37-year-old widow, Chinenye Okonkwo, has raised the alarm over her eviction from her husband's house by their brother-in-law. Okonkwo, who hails from Ugwudiogo, Umuanakwa, Ifite, or Ifite, in Ekwusigo local government area of Anambra State, also called on Anambra State government and other relevant authorities to come to her aid. The mother of 5, who spoke to Sunday Punch on Saturday, said her burden had worsened following her eviction. She added that despite the intervention of the community leaders and various groups, the brother-in-law refused to release her husband's land to her, forcing her and her children to seek refuge outside. She said, "My husband died in 2017 at the age of 45. Since then, his brother has encroached on my late husband's land. He carried the entire..." How be that?